Good morning. Today is April 1st, and it's about 11 o'clock, and we're just going to do a screencast about an assignment for next week. This assignment next week is called the Virus Wanted Poster or Pathogen Wanted Poster. I've got up on the screen here a learning ladder. The learning ladder basically just goes through the 7th grade life science standards that this project will cover. You can look at number 1 and explain. It talks about how viruses and bacteria, fungi, and parasites might infect the human body. Number 2, recognize that these microorganisms cause specific diseases, and there are a variety of medications that are available to fight these diseases. Recognize that vaccines have been introduced and can be given to you to prevent you from getting specific diseases caused by viruses. And the last one there is that your body has a human immune system that is constantly on guard and fighting for you to remain healthy with your immune system at your back. I'm going to slide up to the next thing here. So I'm going to have you do some research on things that cause disease. Those are called pathogens. Viruses and bacteria fall into that. Fungus and protozoa also fall into those categories. So you could use any virus, any bacteria, any fungus, any protozoa like a tapeworm that causes disease, and do research. Now, when you do the research, there are 10 items that I want you to find and put on your wanted poster. They're listed below here in numbers 1 through 10. So first of all, what's the organism's common name, or AKA scientific name? And when you find the answer to that, there is a space over here on the pathogen information sheet that you have space to write that down on. That's just kind of for your notes to help you remember what you found when you're doing your research and what information you need to put on your poster. Second is draw and design a creative picture of your organism. I've got some examples at the end that I will show you. Describe how your organism attacks the victim and spreads. Okay, so like, let's say malaria is one of those diseases that is spread by mosquitoes. And so that's how it attacks. The mosquito bites you, and then it's spread by a bacteria that the mosquito would put back into your body. And so that's information you'd put on your poster as well as recording it on your pathogen information sheet. The fourth thing is who or what is the organism's most common victim. So certain diseases are more apt to attack adults, like the adult version of chickenpox called shingles. Other ones are more apt to attack and be found in children, and some in infants, etc. So we want to know what's the most common victim that they prey on, and it might be an animal, or is it human? Fifth thing is, where is the organism most likely found? So what's its hideout? Let's say the Zika virus, which is one that comes from Africa. It's it is.
Hi, Susan. Please dial 4202.
Pause. Starting with number 5 again. Where is the organism most likely to be found? The culprit's hideout. Just to give an example, the Zika virus, which originates from Africa and the Congo. That's where it would most likely be found. Certain things, diseases, are found in certain regions of the earth, and that's kind of what we're looking for here. Number 6, what harm does the organism cause to the victim? so does the victim gets, the common flu would make you have the sniffles, stuffed up sinuses and things like that. Influenza might give you vomiting, diarrhea, things of that nature. So how are you affected by this? Number 7, is the organism armed and dangerous? So more specifically, once you're infected by the pathogen, how will it have an effect on you? Are you just have a skin irritation? Would you get sick? Would it cause a genetic change? Could it even cause death? And so that's what we're looking for here. Starting again with number 8, the number of victims that a particular virus infect in a 1 year's period of time. So number of victims, how many does this culprit infect over a period of time? So how many per year? Number 9, what's the most effective weapon? So for certain bacterias, there are antibiotics. For certain viruses, there are medicines called vaccines that we can take to prevent us from getting certain viruses. That's the kind of information we're looking for here. Specifically, what is the antibiotic, and specifically, what is the vaccine? Number 10, does the organism have any identifying characteristics? So does it cause specific things to happen? One example of this would be rabies. Has an identifying characteristic that very often it causes its victims to foam at the mouth. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking here. Is there anything that is an identifying characteristic that would identify your specific pathogen? So those are the 10 things that we need, that you need to research for your wanted poster. Again, I've included a pathogen information sheet there. It's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way through 20. Those are spaces for you to write down the notes from the research things that were up here. So these 10 things correspond exactly with these 10 things down here. It's just space for you to record and take your notes down. I've included some references here, just places for you to find some information. There's an A to Z list for viruses, an A to Z list for bacteria, images here, and then how I will evaluate you. It's a 50-point thing. You would put your name on here, your organism here. Include that pathogen information sheet where I had you take the notes for 10 points. All the information that you put on your poster, those 10 things, are each worth 3 points apiece on your poster. And then, is it neat? Is it creative? Is it on time? Another 10 points, and that gives us a total of 50 points. So now I'm going to put this away, and I've just taken some pictures from the back cabinet in the back of the room, and I'll just show you some examples of what people have done. Here's one on cholera. Here is one on chiggers. Causes intense itching. A West Nile virus transmitted by mosquitoes, attacks birds and horses. Rabies, very often portrayed in movies with the rabid dog foaming at the mouth at the end of the chain waiting to attack someone. Yellow fever, another one transmitted by mosquitoes, causes you to have yellow eyes. Another rabies poster. And Lissa virus, the guinea worm disease, and the Black Plague. So those are just some examples of some things that you will do, of what you could do, but there's thousands of pathogens out there that you could do your wanted poster on. I'm going to try this as a test, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.